What's good, everybody? Thank you guys for listening to episode 16 of Tune Check. I hope you all had a great weekend. I'm your host, Chris, and on this episode, we're going to start off with the news. I'm going to talk about one single, and then I'm going to do my quick reviews at the end, all right? So let's get into it. The first piece of news that I got revolves around Kanye. So he announced a new album and it's going to be titled Bully. He announced this while he was performing in China, and he also previewed a new song over there as well, and it's called Beauty and the Beast. And there's also speculation that Don Toliver, Future, Baby Keem, and Travis Scott and Metro Boomin are going to be on this album as well because they were all in China around that time when Kanye was performing. Don Toliver even posted up a story on Instagram saying Gemini things, so that's very exciting to be honest. I like the artists that are there right now, or if this is true, it's very exciting. I think Don Toliver's dope, Baby Keem is dope, Future, of course, everybody loves Future. You know, Metro Boomin, amazing producer. I think that's all really fire. And I feel like he'll definitely cook up something great with all of them. So I'm excited for this new album, but I'm surprised that Vultures 3 isn't coming out anytime soon. I thought there was going to be three parts to it, but maybe he'll change his mind and release both. But we'll see what happens, you know. There's still a few months left of the year, so we might see Vultures 3 drop around like the winter. And then next, we got The Weeknd. His song Timeless, the collab with Playboy Cardi, becomes their biggest debut on Spotify. It was streamed 10 million times. Congrats to them. I think the song is dope. I love what they did on it. It sounds fire. I feel like Playboy Cardi had the best part. And you already know, like, Playboy and The Weeknd have a huge fan base. So all of these people are definitely gonna run this up. It's gonna keep doing numbers. And it's definitely exciting because The Weeknd's coming out with a new album. And so is Playboy Cardi. It's scheduled to release this year, so hopefully we get it soon. This might be one of the songs that pops up on that album. Then next we got Future. He earned his third number one album in 6 months with mixtape Pluto. You know, the first two being We Don't Trust You and We Still Don't Trust You. So congrats to Future. He also made history with 49 entries on Billboard in 2024, the most by any artist in a year ever. So again, congrats to Future. He's doing crazy things. Mixtape Pluto, if you haven't heard it, go run it up. If you haven't heard it for real, I don't know what's wrong with you, but just go listen to it because that album is fire. It's been on repeat nonstop for me, like I said last week and the week before that. And then next we got Lil Wayne. His song Love Me with Drake and Future is now officially certified diamond by the RIAA. It sold over 10 million units, so congrats to Weezy. I remember when that song came out, everybody was listening to it. I mean, it's still about to this day, but that song definitely was fire when it dropped. Definitely an era. But again, congrats to the three of them. You know, whenever you got Wayne and Drake on a track, it's gonna be fire. Whenever you got Future and Drake on a track, it's gonna be fire. Then next we got Summer Walker. Her album Over It is now officially 3 times platinum, and it's just in time for the 5th anniversary. So congrats to Summer Walker. And also her song with J. Cole called Two Summer from Cole. Audio Hug is now certified gold. So that's dope as fuck too. So congrats to Summer Walker. But shout out to J. Cole as well. He's always gonna drop a fire verse, you know. And then speaking about breaking records, we got Kendrick Lamar. His song Not Like Us ties the record for the longest number one on Billboard's Hot Rap Songs chart. It spent over 20 weeks on the chart at number one, and it tied Lil Nas X's Old Town Road. This is most likely going to be the song of the year. I kind of wanted it to be Million Dollar Baby because, you know, that was everywhere too, but the way that Not Like Us keeps coming in and out from the chart and from number one, you know, it's crazy. But I'm pretty sure it'll probably be number one for a while since, you know, Kendrick's going to perform at the Super Bowl soon. But, you know, congrats to Kendrick. And then next we got some news revolving Drake. Drake's It's All a Blur tour is officially the highest grossing rap tour in history. This was previously held by Kendrick Lamar, you know, when he did his Big Steppers tour, which is a great tour. I went to the show, it was fire. I loved his performance. I love what he did. Baby Keem was fire. And the artist that he had opening was fire as well. I don't really remember his name right now for some reason, but it was great. And then I also went to Drake's It's All a Blur tour. It was fire too, you know. I didn't go to the extended one where he, you know, added extra shows at the end, but I went to the one of the very first ones, you know, with 21 Savage. He was on tour with him as well. That was dope. But this was established like I think a few months ago, you know, before this whole rap beef happened and everything. Like, but people just wanted to bring it up now because, you know, post rap beef for some reason. And there was like a lot of people online, like, just like, oh, it wasn't a solo tour, you know, he had people there, this and that. Kendrick had 73 shows, Drake had 80. But yeah, I think Kendrick made 110 million off 73 shows, and then Drake made 320, I believe, or 330 million. But regardless, Kendrick had people on his tour with him, you know, other artists like Baby Keem and the other opener. So, I mean, I don't really think it matters if it was solo or not. 21 Savage didn't really have that many songs. He came out like in the middle for like 40 minutes and then just got off stage and then Drake went back on. I feel like there really isn't an argument in this. You know what I'm saying? Like people just want to hate on Drake now. And then other people just want to hate on Kendrick. But regardless, they both held the title for the highest grossing rap tour in history. So shout out to both of them. You know, that's GOAT things. And like I said, I would not be surprised if they like link up and get cool with each other again and go on tour. Both of them, or even tag J. Cole. Like I've been saying this for a while. Like if a big three tour happened, J. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake, that shit would be crazy. That definitely would do numbers and probably gonna hold this title for like a really, really long time because I don't really see any other artist or any other group doing that, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully that does happen, but for right now, it is what it is. But you know, speaking about Drake and Kendrick, we got more news about the Super Bowl. So it turns out that Whack 100 claimed that Drake sent the cease and desist to Kendrick Lamar so that he couldn't perform Not Like Us at the Super Bowl. A few days after, Whack 100 basically said that it's fake news. You know, he denied the claim. He said that he was reading a tweet and was basically just waiting for like that to actually happen while he was just claiming that it did. You know what I'm saying? Like very weird. And then there's a video recording of him saying that there was no cease and desist sent. That if Drake did send one, you would see it everywhere. Which you know, like I thought this whole situation was whack. Like people just love to spread rumors and stuff. I don't really think Drake really would care about that, considering that he turned down the Super Bowl twice. Like he doesn't really give a fuck. I know the Super Bowl won't let Kendrick perform that entire song. They're not gonna let him say pedophile or any of those other things on stage. You know what I'm saying? Like they probably do maybe just a hook, but that's about it. But I don't really see it being that crazy. I don't really see it being a big deal like that. But like I said, like, you know, maybe he is gonna bring Drake out during the performance. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very weird like how all this is happening and what's gonna happen, but we just gotta stay tuned and see what happens, you know? Then next we got pretty much like the biggest piece of news that happened last week. You know, it's regarding Chris Brown. So let's start off with the good thing first. He scored his longest running number one on Billboard's adult R&B airplay charts in 4 years with Sensational. You know, his last being Go Crazy with Young Thug that came out, I think, in 2019, 2020. And then the next piece of news is pretty much about, you know, all the controversy he has, you know, with him and everything. So it turns out that ID, Investigation Discovery, these are the people that were behind the Nickelodeon documentary Quiet on Set, have basically made a documentary on Chris Brown exploring his controversial history. You know, it's going to be called Chris Brown, A History of Violence. And it's supposed to drop on October 27th. It's part of ID's annual No Excuse for Abuse. So it's basically just gonna be about, you know, Chris Brown and like all of the issues that he's been in and all of the stuff that he's done since like his early ages, you know, childhood trauma to the incident with Rihanna, then to the incident with Karuchi, and then all other allegations that came out of him within the previous years that pretty much were debunked. And in light of this, there's supposedly a new accuser in the documentary. You know, in the trailer for it, they pretty much show her at the end. She says something into the camera, but they're not going to give her name and show her face at all. You know, she's blacked out. And, you know, when this came out and everything, I was on social media, you know, Instagram, X. I was reading articles and everything. And there's like a lot of people that weren't really happy about this because they didn't really understand why this is coming out now. Like they wasn't really fucking with it. You know, a lot of people were like, he hasn't even done anything recently. Like, why would you just release this? A lot of people were saying that he already paid his dues. You know, he already went to jail. He did rehab. He went to therapy. You know, he's just trying to be like a dad right now and like a good performer. And people were saying this only happens when he achieves something or when he's gonna do something. And it's true because that exact morning, this came out like around maybe midday, but a few hours before that, he had announced that he has a show in Brazil and in South Africa. So as soon as he announced that, like maybe like 2, 3 hours later, this whole this whole documentary thing came out. It was just like a big like what the fuck moment. But I honestly don't really understand why they're releasing it now since we already know everything. And there were also a lot of other fans that were saying, hey, like, why can't you guys make documentaries about all these other people? Or like, why can't you do this and that? And I kind of agree with that too because there's also other people who have done like worse and terrible things that don't really get placed in the limelight like that. It is what it is, you know. But he did, like I said, announce a show in South Africa and Brazil. So the first shows that he announced for Brazil and South Africa both sold out within like an hour. And then he added an extra date for each one. They both sold out too. So I know everybody in Brazil and South Africa are going to be eating. Like, he's a great performer. So I'm excited to see, clips from that. But, it does suck that, people are always trying to pretty much, take away stuff from him. And then what, like a day or two after, and then a day or two after, it was shown that the lady in the documentary is somebody who accused him a few years ago of assaulting her, but then ended up, lying. Like, there's videos and text messages of her pretty much obsessing over him and him not replying. And then it turns out that the lawyer for that case actually ended up dropping her because she lied. There's a video of him like reading her messages, showing everybody, what happened. And everything was pretty much just a lie. She just wanted to really just talk to him, and she was just being obsessive. And this is all according to TMZ. They were the ones that pretty much released that, oh, she's lying. She was dropped by the lawyer for not being honest and lying about her allegations and everything. And they even showed like a side by side of her. And then they even showed like a photo of her next to the photo of the woman in the video that was blacked out from the documentary. They got the same side, like the same nose and everything. That just goes to show like this basically was all a lie too. So I think people are so that just goes to show that, people so that just goes to show that this was a lie, you know, and a lot of fans were like, damn, people are really out to get him. He just sold out his tour and his shows recently, and it sucks that people really just want to destroy everything he's doing. I don't know if he's gonna sue them or take any form of legal action. A lot of people were saying that he should sue. Even the Breakfast Club didn't understand what was going on. Like, I was watching their, show that day too. Well, the next day when it was announced, they were like, "Why is this happening now? It doesn't make any sense," you know. And that is very traumatizing for the people that they're gonna talk about, which is true. Like, it might bring up ill feelings for them. They weren't even sure if they contacted the victims either to like let them know that this is happening. I don't think they did either. I think they're just doing it just to like get money and money grab. And a lot of people feel that way too. So to me, it just doesn't make any sense. I feel like this is something that should have came out like years ago, not right now. He just sold out his tour. I think he made like a good amount of income from that as well. And then with these next like four shows that he's doing in South Africa and Brazil combined, it just doesn't make any sense to me as to why it has to come out now. And then the whole, accuser that's lying is just very weird. But I feel like they're just gonna roll with it anyway. Like I said, he hasn't really said anything, so we gotta see what's about to happen. But I'll keep you guys posted. But that's about it for the news. Next we're gonna get into the one single I wanted to talk about. The single is from ASAP Ferg and Future. It's called Allure. Michael made is the producer on it. So it turns out that Future basically dissed Gunna on this song. And Future was like, "You took a deal on Slime. I'm surprised you ain't dead." I think those are the bars. I don't have it right in front of me, but I feel like that's probably what it is or close to it. And honestly, like, I feel like this is kind of corny, to be honest, because, Thug and Thug's dad, they're cool with Gunna. Like, I don't understand. I don't really see no beef. There's no issue there. Even the lawyers, like, stated that Gunna didn't say anything to incriminate anybody. Maybe Future is talking about somebody else. We don't really know. But if this actually turns into like a whole rap beef, I feel like it's gonna be whack because they both have similar styles, similar sounds. They both rap kind of the same way a little bit. It ain't nothing too crazy. Nobody's gonna say nothing crazy. They're not gonna say nothing that's gonna be, oh my god, that was a bar. Oh my god, he dissed him like crazy. And it's not gonna be nothing like that. And we just had one of the greatest rap beefs just happen. So if Future and Gunna start having a whole rap beef, it's not gonna live up to a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really gonna be nothing. I feel like this should have happened like a few years ago. I don't know. I hope it doesn't turn into anything, and if it does, it's gonna be whack. And then next, we're gonna get into our quick project reviews. So first, I'm gonna just start off and mention that Victoria Monet, she dropped the deluxe version of Jaguar 2. Has 10 additional songs. The features is Thundercat, Usher, and Bryson Tiller. I'm not gonna speak about it too much because I don't want to talk about no deluxe albums here. I didn't do it with any of the other ones that came out, so I'm not gonna do it with this one either. Go check it out. Go listen to it. I think it's dope. I listened to the songs. It's a really great addition. So if you haven't heard it, go listen to it. If you love Jaguar 2, just the regular version, then you're gonna love the deluxe. It's great. And speaking about R&B, there was one R&B album that came out that I really enjoyed this past Friday. It's from The Sacred Souls. It's called Got a Story to Tell. 12 songs, 38 minutes. No features on it. My favorite songs is Price I'll Pay, Live for You, Waiting on the right time, my heart is drowning, stuck in the mud, in the mirror. I didn't really know who they were, honestly. So when I like checked this out, I instantly like enjoyed it. I love the way it sounded. I love how they composed it. I love everything about it. It's so different to the type of R&B that we have right now, so reminiscent of like the older kind of styles. They play with a lot of sounds from like the 60s. It's very retro. There was another style that I heard that they used that I never even heard of before. It's called Chicano Soul. I've when I heard it and read it, I was like, I've never heard of this term before. But then when I actually started thinking about it, I actually did because I listened to Chicano Batman. They got the same kind of sound going with them. So I found it very interesting because I enjoy that band and the music that they make. So this was pretty cool too. But these Sacred Souls found a way to blend these styles, and it's nice, and it's a really pleasant listening experience. The lead singer, his voice is so good, and like I said, everything is just so well composed. The lead singer's name is Josh Lane, and to be honest, his voice low key reminded me of Marvin Gaye. And I love Marvin Gaye. I think he's one of the best singers, one of my favorite singers. So I had to go back to listen to their debut album, after I listened to this one at first, because I just wanted to get to know their style more and get to know them more musically. And then once I did that, I listened to this new album again afterwards just to compare. And I can honestly say that there's a lot of growth within their music, from both albums. But I feel like they did a better job at combining these sounds on the second one, on the new one. And I fucked with it. I thought it was dope. As I was listening to this, there's a lot of themes about love, struggles and accomplishments. That was consistent on this album and even on the first one, to be honest. And I really enjoyed the track listing. I liked how every song was placed and where it was placed. Like, this really caught me by surprise and I really enjoyed it. And I feel like I'm gonna keep listening to this. It's gonna be in my rotation most likely for a while. So if you know about them, go listen to it. If you wanna know about them, go listen to it. But it's great. So go run it up, go stream it because you're gonna enjoy it. And then next, we're gonna get into our hip hop rap albums. There's only three. It's gonna be very quick. So the first one I wanted to mention is from District. He released Installation 3. This is the third installment to his Installation series. There's no features on this, but this whole thing was fire. Just straight gas. I loved everything about it. He was rapping, he was singing. He kind of reminded me of A Boogie and like Baby Keem a little bit, to be honest. I thought that was dope. His style and just his bars and verses, they were just so good. His delivery, his cadence, the way he went about every song was great. 2024 has been a really good year for, music and for artists that are like, very underrated or not really known about. And this is just a great example of, great music that this year has really been consistent with. Like I said, I love his flow, his delivery, and his cadence. I like how he blends R&B with his rap style on a few songs. Like, it's a quick listen. It's 18 minutes, but I promise you, like, you're gonna have it on repeat because it's really good for a short project, and it's definitely gonna keep getting you to listen to it more and more. But I loved it. I thought it was great. So go stream it, go listen to it. He dropped a really good project, so shout out to him. And then next we got Toosii. He released this album called Jaded. 13 songs, 36 minutes. Features on this are Gunna, Kalani, and Mooney Long. My favorite songs is She Doesn't Mind, Fuck You Mean, Okay Whatever, Party Girl Anthem, Clockwork, Foxy Brown, and Fantastic. I actually enjoyed this album. I didn't really think I was gonna like it that much, to be honest, but I really fucked with it. I really did like it. I love the production here. I thought it was great. I enjoyed how he blends his R&B to his rap style. He really did a good job with it. And he caught me off guard sometimes because he was really out here trying to sing and it sounded great. And his lyrics were actually really, really good on this. I think it did a good job of going with whatever he was talking about and the themes that he wanted to convey here. He was playing with like a lot of different styles, from like Afro beats on the song Fire and Desire to songs that get you to like dance, move around a little bit, like Party Girl anthems and Sticks and Stones. He's basically talking about like his experiences and the lessons that came with those experiences. It kind of feels like a continuation from his first album. It just pretty much like a progression kind of thing. And I thought that was dope. But this album definitely shows his versatility and and his growth as an artist and how emotional he can be with his music. And I think that's really dope. I really enjoyed that. If you haven't listened to it, go check it out. It's a really good listen. And I think he might drop a deluxe because some of these songs were already previewed. And then there were other songs that he like showed on his social media accounts that weren't on this, so he might drop a deluxe maybe. I wouldn't be surprised because all artists are doing deluxes now, but again, go listen to it. You're gonna enjoy it. And then last, we got Tee Grizzly. He released his album Post Traumatic. 24 songs, an hour and 10 minutes long. Yeah, I know the time is pretty long, but it's fire. The features are J. Cole, Tink, Huncho, G Herbo, Friday, Mariah the Scientist, YTB Fat, Future, Baby Grizzly, and 42 Doug. My favorite songs is We Them, Blow for Blow, All I Wanna Do, More Than Half, Diana, I Ain't Sorry, 10 p.m. in Detroit, What the Fuck I Want, I Know, Trench Baby, and Swear to God. 24 songs is a lot in the times that we live in right now, because people don't have high attention spans. Everything's like a minute. The albums are now like 40 minutes, 30 minutes. EPs are like 5 minutes now. For example, like the Jordan Ward and Junie thing that dropped, Journey, that was like 13 minutes long. I heard it, but I didn't want to really talk about it because it was just so short. Like, there's nothing really to talk about there. But most albums now are like 12 to 15 songs max. It's not really 24. But majority of the songs on this album are a minute to 2 minutes long, and the ones with features are 3 to like 4 minutes long. So for an album like this, he did a really good job of making it feel like it was a quick listen, and also he pretty much got his money's worth with the features because those songs he made 3 to 4 minutes long, like I said. But I love the beats here. I love this delivery. I love this tone on most of the songs. I thought it was dope. Tee Grizzly is honestly one of my favorite rappers. Like, he definitely always has bars. He's always gonna deliver. He's always gonna come through with fire verses, fire features. I feel like he always has a good selection of features on his albums as well. For example, like the one with J. Cole, like that song is gonna be talked about for a while because of J. Cole. And then the song with Tink, it was fire. The song with Friday, it was fire. This album has an aggressiveness to it at times, and it goes well with the production. Like the hard hitting beats, they were great to me. I really was enjoying them. I thought they was dope. He stated that this was his best work, and to be honest, I feel like I could agree because I think he gets better with like every project. And his last album from 2023 was pretty dope too. He has a lot of sounds and styles that he was able to, showcase here. I feel like that's one of the reasons why the album works so well too, from the multitude of songs and them being certain times to the styles that he chose on each one. I feel like all of that really worked in his advantage and it produced something great. Like I said, yeah, majority of them are short, but he doesn't go overboard and gives you exactly what you need to hear and what you want to hear. On this album, he basically talks about how he became influential in his community, made it out the streets and everything. Talks about his marriage and how happy he is, being in love and stuff. Then he talks about being happy and just living a better life. He got his typical, songs, like rap songs now, sliding on ops, spending money, spending bands, talks about bitches and everything. He finds like a really good balance between these topics on this album. And I feel like that's also what helps the album sound great as a whole and doesn't make it seem like it's too long or just too much. He has like different kinds of beats, from trap beats, Detroit beats, to R&B songs. He's always going to do good on an R&B song. He's always saying some slick shit, always saying some dope stuff lyrically. But sonically, this all sounds really great. Like I said, Tee Grizzly is one of my favorites. And this was a really good album, in my opinion. I was really fucking with it. So if you haven't heard it, go listen to it, go stream it. He did a really good job. And with that, this episode comes to a close. Thank you guys for listening. Go follow me on socials. I'm on streaming platforms. Go like and subscribe. Send this to your friends, your family, uncles, nieces, nephews if they're old enough. Shit, even play this shit at work. Fuck it, right? But I hope you guys all had a great week and, stay tuned for the next one. Peace.